Welcome to the Subkarma channel. My name is James Soames and I'm a branding consultant in Taiwan. We have seen in a previous episode how important it is to give brand naming some thought. And we have discussed how the right choice of name can deliver meaning to a brand and its desired market. And as we all know, brand names come in all sorts of shapes, sizes and colors, and these will all have some influence on our perception of the brand. So my question today is, what should we pay attention to when designing a logo? And how do Taiwan's top 15 brands of 2019 perform in that respect? Before we launch into this, I would just like to clarify a mistake that we all make. I mentioned logo in the title and introduction of this video, and that is because we all generally think of logo as the visual representation of a brand. However, that's not quite true. Let me explain. A logo is a word from the Greek logos. Now, you could also say that a brand is an icon. It doesn't necessarily need to be a word. It could be a picture. Or it could be a monogram, and a monogram is using the first letter of each word, like IBM. Or it could be a symbol, as the Nike swoosh is. It's a graphic device. But we're being a little bit picky here. That's our job at Subkarma. But let's just say that all these above are trademarks. Now you now have the opportunity to impress your friends at dinner or pass for a complete nerd. Now when designing a trademark, there are many variables that come into play. Its size and shape, its color, the font, and the icon or symbol that comes with the logo. So let's start with the size. Assuming that we are designing a logo for the global market, we will read it from left to right. Studies have shown that the most comfortable logo to look at is 2x3 in shape. Now that can be tricky given that most shorter names have been registered already, leaving us with a need to have crazy spelling or to make our brand names longer. 2x3 shows balance, poise and stability, and we are so used to looking at our laptop screens in landscape layout that we have just become comfortable with that shape. Now this doesn't mean that you shouldn't step out of the norm. Some brands have done a great job at it, and some sadly haven't. And again, other factors come into play, such as the industry. Fashion brands who want to show their personality or pay homage to their designers will have much longer names because we're selling names here, not just a logo. And we cannot all have that perfect 2x3 that Chanel owns. Now for shape. Shapes can definitely make strong statements about a brand. Whether your logo is framed in a square or circle or triangle, it will give extra meaning. A square or rectangular frame adds power and stability to a logo. It completes it and tells us this is who we are in simple terms. It's all here. Run a circle or a circular shape around your logo and you're creating a brand that shows ambition, vision and personality. Maybe a bit of fun too. The frame helps to keep all that ambition under control, however. A triangular frame will certify your logo. Triangles can be seen as warning signs or certifications. In either case, your logo has that official look. Shadows on a logo are not great, I have to say it. It was never cool to use that function in PowerPoint when it first came out, and it's still not cool today. It also weakens the impact of your brand design, and it's not easy to apply to every kind of background. You see, we are picky here at Subkarma, but that's because we love you. We really do. Following on from that awkward silence, let's briefly talk about color. For us, color is probably the most effective way of getting a point across in design, including logo design. So do you want to express leadership and power? Go for red. It is visible and makes a strong statement. Blue tells us that you are smart, thoughtful, but your logo may not pop out on a crowded shelf in a supermarket. It does not attract the eye as much as bright colors. Yellow? Your brand is dynamic and positive, friendly even. We continue with the obvious one, green, sustainability, environmental, organic, etc. Black is the color of elegance. It always has been, and it always will be. Brown has evolved over time to go from dirty to warm. Beatrice Eisman will say that this is mainly the result of the arrival of Starbucks and its coffee culture. Now I will finish with white, a visionary color, minimalist and very clean. Now many brands use more than one color in their logo, and we can talk about it another day. Color combinations are a whole new kettle of fish, and the subject merits more than just a few seconds. So moving on. The font. This is also a pretty big topic, and some people have dedicated their lives at designing fonts for large corporations. Now, most companies cannot afford to create a whole new font, although they may go creative on the logo design. So, things to be aware of. A logo in a bold font will have impact, but too bold can look heavy and outdated. Bold looks better on short names than longer ones because of the balance. Clothes brands have sussed that out because their logos not only have to be visible, they often have to fit on a label. Italic font is dynamic because it leans forward or backwards. In my opinion, it has been used a lot over the last couple of decades, however. Script, as opposed to established fonts like Helvetica, is risky. Yes, it can look elegant and European. It can also be completely unreadable. Again, look at what is in trend in design. Speak to companies like Subkarma and avoid going for an outdated style that you will be stuck with for years. Finally, we come to that big decision. Big caps or small caps, or big letters versus small letters. Well, it all boils down to what message you want to get across. Big caps will certainly make you feel manly in the locker room, but you may come across as uncompromising and stubborn. Big caps are in your face and loud. They can look great in a customized font, but a bit boring when used with standard fonts such as Arial or Times New Roman. So pick well. Small caps are cool at the moment. They're inviting and approachable. They look better with a logo that includes rounded letters. But the problem with small caps is that the logo may miss a focal point. And that is why it is sometimes useful to add in a big brother in there or a couple of bad boys designed to show that we are not only fun, but we have strong character as well. And since we are speaking of caps, please note that designers love letters that lend themselves well to attractive design. Letters like K are our favorite. Think of Cavalan. So we have talked about size and shape, color and font, but we haven't yet touched on the icon. Now, the first question we need to consider is whether the icon actually adds anything to the logo. We find in many cases that the icon will simply make the trademark considerably larger, which could make it difficult to fit on a small surface. It may also clash with the simplicity of the logo. In my view, an icon should complete the logo. We shouldn't be looking at two independent designs in one trademark. We should be looking at complicity between the two. And the great thing about an icon, however, is that it can be designed from scratch, so it becomes easier to register, and it should, in theory, be clearly different to the competition, thus marking you out from the crowd, in theory. Try therefore to avoid obvious icons that are often overused, in my opinion. Now, after going through a few pointers about logo or trademark design, let's have a quick look at the top 15 brands in Taiwan as listed by Interbrand in 2019. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's time it and keep it as short as possible. Are you ready? Time starts now. Asus. Good shape, forward angle, own font, different to competitor Acer. Own the innovation and technology, baby. Trend Micro. Good balance given the amount of information. Old-fashioned icon, all big caps. It's all about protection. Want. Recognizable. Cartoon is pretty big and maybe a little old-fashioned. They may want to change a bit. Cathay Bank. Color is the most important. Advantech. Simple. Unremarkable. Another tech company. Thank goodness for the V and A in the design. Giant. Big. Bold. Slightly italic. Upgraded blue. Screams big brother and leader. But heavy. Need balance between big leader and dynamic sports brand. At least I can see the logo on the bike when it passes by. Cathay Holdings. Long name. It's all about the big tree. Growth. Dark green is mature. Acer. Small caps. Interconnecting letters. Good size. A friendly brand. Careful with that shade of green though. This is an old millennial color. 85 degrees, typical coffee shop circle, but you own the red. Clever use of numbers instead of letters as well. Numbers are in vogue at the moment, by the way. MediaTek, more tech again. Bold font, good proportions. Dangerous color. Should show energy, but the shade is a little bit too dark. Merida, italic font, bold letters, but lighter than Giant. Green and mountain bike icon, more energy than Giant. More design, but a logo with a mountain is more difficult to fit on a frame. Cinex, italic, again. Font is a bit weak and standard. Icon looks like it has history, but it's not clear what it is. It's a bit messy. Delta, bold, unique, blue. Own font. Interesting use of D and A as symmetrical opposites. Good use of shape with the icon. The circle with the triangle and the D and the A. Maxis, italic, bold, double X, power. Enough said. So here we have it. The top 15 brands in Taiwan. Some decent efforts in terms of logo design, but overall a little bland and predictable. Plenty of names with tech, lots of capital letters, and few remarkable colors or icons. We still have some way to go, Taiwanese brothers and sisters. Just remember that there is so much more to a brand than its name, and design is merely one element of it. An element, nevertheless, that we need to get our heads wrapped around if we're going to wow our consumers and scare our competitors in the deep end of the swimming pool. So get your swimming trunks on, Taiwan businesses. Let's go and make a splash where the big boys swim. Thank you for watching, and God bless.